Alright, this video is for the lesson 2.1 homework. We're doing domain and range today. So number one, what is the name of a set of input values for the independent variable over which the function is defined? That's the domain. So independent, the x's, that's all domain. What's the name of the set of output values for the dependent variable over which the function is defined? That's the range. So that's the y values, dependent, y, output. All we're doing is writing domain and range today. So this one says y is all real numbers. So we've got three different forms we can write this in. Interval notation is a set of two values. And so if every number, if y can be every number, we would write negative infinity to positive infinity. And the infinities always get parentheses. If we write it as an inequality, we can either write, we just write y, that's what we're talking about, and then we write this funny e. It's kind of like a C with a line in it, and then so that says y is a member of the set, and then we write an R with two lines. Y is a member of the set of all real numbers, is what that says. And then in set notation, I'm not a fan of set notation. I'm not going to make you do a lot of set notation. But all you do is you take your letter, you write a vertical line, and then you write the inequality notation again. That's all set notation is. So this one says x is all real numbers greater than 6. So that means we're starting at 6 and everything above it. So we would write the 6 first and then all the way to infinity. All right, if it's a number and it's just greater than or less than, it gets a parenthesis. If it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, it gets a bracket. And we'll see that in the next one. So as an inequality, x is all real numbers greater than 6. So we would write x just needs to be greater than 6. And then in set notation, x with a line, and then we just write that inequality again. X is greater than 6. All right, if we've got two values, y is all whole numbers greater than or equal to -5. So that means we're starting at -5 and less than 8, and we're ending at 8. But greater than or equal to -5. So instead of a parenthesis, we use the squared off bracket. And then less than 8 gets the parenthesis because it doesn't say less than or equal to. So when we write this inequality, we're starting at -5 and y is greater than or equal to, so it gets this sign, and that's y. And then y is less than 8. And so when we write an inequality with two numbers, the signs always point this direction with the letter in the middle. The difference with set notation here is it specifies that it's all whole numbers. So when we write set notation, what we're going to do is we're going to write y is a member of the set of whole numbers, designating that it's only the whole numbers, and then we do a comma and then this inequality. But we only have to do that if they designate a particular set. If it says like whole numbers or integers or rational numbers. If it says real numbers, we don't have to do that indication. So that's that. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see. That's that 8 there. All right, x is all rational numbers less than or equal to 0. So anything less than or equal to 0. So if we're less than, we're going all the way to -infinity up to 0. -infinity always gets a parenthesis. Less than or equal to 0, 0 gets the bracket. So when we write this, x is all rational numbers less than. So x has got to be less than, so remember, alligator eats the big, less than or equal to 0. And then again, this one designates a set rational numbers. Rational numbers we write with a, is it a Q? I think it's a Q. Yeah, it is a Q. So we would write x in a vertical line. X is a member of the set of rational numbers, and then the inequality. All right, so here's what I'm going to do on the last. I'm going to write the set notation for you. Okay? You have to go back and do the other ones because you guys knowing what the symbols are is hard. So we're talking about y here. Y is a member of the set of natural numbers greater than -2 and less than or equal to 9. So I would write greater than, no line underneath it, and then less than or equal to 9. So you just have to write those two forms of it. And that form's already written for you. You just copy that piece down. All right, x is all real numbers greater than 3 and less than 13. So if it's real numbers, we don't have to jump through all those hoops. We can just say greater than 3, x is greater than 3, and less than 13. And again, if it's these signs, it's parentheses. If it's a sign with a line underneath it, it gets a bracket. Y is all integers less than or equal to 14. So integers. Y is a member of the set of integers. Integers we represent with a Z. And y is less than or equal to 14. I don't know why it's so hard to see that. It just gets blurry. And then x is all real numbers is just this one. We're just swapping out, so I'll do that whole one. If it's all real numbers, it's from negative infinity to positive infinity. X is a member of the set of all real numbers. And then set notation, just X with a line, and then X is a member of the set of all real numbers. So that leaves you 6 blanks. If you want me to check anything like that, I'm more than happy to check. But that's all you have left to do for today. We've got about 15 minutes, something like that. Yes, go.